Hello guys, Aaron Daybreak, and this is going to be my Yasuo build guide. I'm going to go over the builds, the runes, and masteries for 7.22. This is what I run. This is pretty good, but there is a few other options. I'll show you in here. Everything here is what I've usually ran. I've played a few games, not many, with this setup, but I can tell you, as a very experienced Yasuo player, that it should be very solid. And you can swap a few things out. Like I said, I'll show you. To give you a little bit of backstory, I started playing Yasuo back in like I think 2014, 2013. It was a couple months after his release. I started playing League of Legends, and then I picked up Yasuo eventually. I actually refunded him, but then I bought him back because I watched a few videos on him one night, late at night, when I was supposed to be in bed for school. But I watched him, and I was like, this is actually a really cool champion. So I undid the refund and bought him back, and I've played him a lot since. On multiple accounts, I've climbed Elo with him. I know a lot about the champion. He is 100% my most experienced champion. I may not do the best on him all the time because I just like to dick around with him a lot, but he is definitely my most played champion, 100%, no doubt. I'll show you, like I said, the runes. There's no masteries now. Well, I guess they're masteries. They call them runes, but really they're masteries if you're used to previous league before the 7.22 patch. And I'll show you builds, and I'll show you a couple little tricks or whatever with Yasuo that not a lot of people know about, but if you play him, you should know about. This is like high-level Yasuo stuff. So I'll show you all that. Let's get right into it, and we're going to go with the runes right now. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. So, hold up. I have to go back to our runes here. My bad. Don't actually know how to go back to that. But anyways, I made this Yasuo page, and I don't know exactly how people are going to start abbreviating this, but it's yellow and red. And I'm going to start calling it yellow and red because it uses the precision and domination trees. I went precision because Yasuo is a very sustained fighter with his passive and with his critical strike passive and with his ultimate passive with the 50% armor reduction or whatever, or the 50% armor pin he gets from his passive. He's always been a very extended fight champion. The longer the fight goes on, the better Yasuo is. It only gets better for Yasuo the longer the fight goes on. So with that being said, we went precision this time, and with precision, everything in precision, that skill tree allows you to take the fight on a little bit longer. So the longer that it goes on, it's going to outscale the other trees. Technically, it should outscale the other trees. So we obviously went right into lethal tempo, and because after 1.5 seconds after damaging a champion, you gain a large amount of attack speed. Now we're going to look at the exact details on this because I want to be very specific. You gain 30 to 80% attack speed based on level for 3 seconds. Attacking a champion extends the effect to 6 seconds. So you have a 6 second window of 80% attack speed at level 18, and this goes over your attack speed cap. So let's just say perhaps you were at 2.5 attack speed, that would allow you to go over it. You can achieve some crazy stuff like with Vayne and Kog'Maw, all those champions. You can get way above the level or the attack speed cap once this pops. So it's really insane. And from my understanding, I could be wrong, but if you cap yourself out on attack speeds, so let's say you have 2.5%. Well, let's just say you have 2.5 attack speed and you pick up a Phantom Dancer, or you pick up a Blood of the Rune King, and you're already maxed out. So you overcapped yourself by like 40% attack speed, right, with the one item. I am pretty positive that once Lethal Tempo activates, Lethal Tempo will count in that extra 40% on top of its 80% if you're at level 18. So that being said, that is very good. So it is okay to overcap yourself. It's not perfect. It's not the most optimal setup or whatever, but you can definitely gain a lot from overcapping yourself during that time frame. The other reason we are running lethal tempo is because whenever you get in the fights with Yasuo, the big problem I used to have with him was that either I didn't have enough attack speed, or either I had enough attack speed or I didn't have enough lifesteal. It was always one of the two. It was either I had enough lifesteal, didn't have enough attack speed, or I had enough attack speed, didn't have enough lifesteal. So with this, it really counteracts it. So you can go lifesteal and attack speed, and then once lethal tempo pops, you have more attack speed. And essentially what that does is that, let's say you're battling a tank and you've ulted him or whatever, and you have your 50% armor pin, but you need to sustain to stay alive. Lethal tempo is going to allow you to attack a lot more often, so it's going to give you whatever you've overcapped yourself with in the attack speed area, and it's going to give you the 80% on top of that. So it'll allow you to get more attacks in, and in turn more health. You're going to survive longer, and as we said, Yasuo likes extended fights, so this is going to be absolutely perfect for him. I honestly don't know if there is a better one. We can check out the other ones here, but I honestly do not think there will be a better one. This is basically like, this is increased damage. This would probably be alright press to attack, but it's not going to be as good as lethal tempo in a 1v1 situation or versus tanks, in my opinion. And this is only on a single target too. So that's the thing about lethal tempo, as well as it works on Baron. It's a little bit shorter duration, but it does work on Baron and minions and stuff like that. This is not going to be that good, in my opinion. So I think this is probably the worst. The worst of the three. Overheal. You can take anything here you want. But, yeah. See, Presence of Mind will not work on him. And Triumph is kind of like Dangerous Game. It's not too bad, I think. I mean, it's debatable between that and Overheal. Overheal gives you a small shield. So, basically, if you have a lot of lifesteal, this works really well because it's going to give you a bigger shield. Or it's going to give you your shield quicker. If you don't have a lot of lifesteal, it's going to take you a long time to build up your shield. So early in the game, it won't be that good. The later on in the game, when you get like Blade of the Rune King, Hydra, or if you decide to go Bloodthirst or whatever, and if you get a potion or the Elixir of Wrath, this will go up a lot faster and a lot quicker than it will in the early game. For Legend, we went Bloodline just because the attack speed, you're going to have a lot of attack speed in this build anyways. You could definitely go Alacrity, but by the time, if you calculate this up, it's like an extra 15%. Was actually 18% attack speed at level 18, or well, whenever you get your max stacks. So it'll take you a while to get max stacks, but it basically gives you a flat 18% attack speed. But we already get a lot from lethal tempo and our items to begin with, and the fact that we're going precision domination and getting the 18% attack speed. So it kind of would be basically another domination passive thing or whatever. So you don't necessarily need it. You can go Tenacity. Tenacity is also very good. These are all three pretty good. You can't really go wrong with any of them, but they're very specific. So if you're trying to min max your build, if you guys know what that means, min max, I would either take Tenacity or Bloodline. Tenacity is just going to give you an extra 20% Tenacity overall. Not come out with boots, so you can go Merc Treads with them and the Elixir of whatever that, I think it's the Elixir of Iron, and you'll get like 50% Tenacity. It'll be it'll be outrageous. I actually have more. You'll probably about 60% Tenacity, somewhere around that. So it'll be absolutely ridiculous. You'll basically be Aurelia on meth. But if you don't want to take this, and like I said, if there's a lot of CC on the enemy team, you may want to take this Mastery. Or this rune, whatever. Because it is pretty strong in my opinion. I think it's actually very, very strong for late game. What we're taking though, what I would recommend you take, is Legend Bloodline. You gain 8% lifesteal for every Legend stack. Max 10 stack. So basically you're going to have about 8% lifesteal out of this. 8 to 9% lifesteal. This is just going to help you because I'll show you in the build. You don't build a lot of lifesteal items, but this is going to give you just free lifesteal. It's going to allow you to stack your shield a little bit faster from Overheal. Now, don't get me wrong. This isn't like some insane shield or whatever, but you will be able to get your shield up faster, and you'll be able to grab the lethal tempo. You'll be able to make use of that lethal tempo thing I was talking about, where you're in a fight with someone in a 1v1 situation or a tank. You've got your ult up or whatever. Or even if you don't, but you're auto-attacking to sustain more, you're going to be able to sustain more with Bloodline than any of the other three. Just because the fact you get more lifesteal, you can auto-attack more, you know, etc., etc. So, it works really, really well with lethal tempo later on in the game, especially when you obviously have 10 stacks, about level 18. I don't know the exact levels that this would be, I don't know the exact levels that these peak at, but I will tell you that late game, Bloodline, and lethal tempo together is really, really strong. So, and for this one, we took Last Stand. Here, all these are pretty good, but sometimes, depending on your build, you won't really be able to use Cut Down that well. And Coup de Grace is pretty good. You deal 10% more damage to champions who have less than 40% health. But I would either take Coup de Grace or Last Stand. Last Stand because you deal 5 to 12% increased damage to champions while you're below 60% health. Max damage is gained at 30% health. So let's say Zed ults you or someone hits you with a lot of damage and you're resting at 30% health. And you're using all of your lifesteal and lethal tempo to heal back up from your auto attacks and your 50% armor penetration. So you're actually doing a lot of damage. This is going to allow you to do more damage as you heal up, and you won't have to have them at 40% health. I feel like the Coup de Grace would be very, very good on an assassin like Zed. So whenever you get them at 40% and that death mark's going to pop, it'll do 10% more damage. Could be wrong, but I think that's how that would work out. But yeah, Coup de Grace or Coup de Grace, I don't know however you want to say it, and Last Stand's probably the two you want to lean between. You can try them out and see which one you like. I'm going to say Last Stand's better though, for my playstyle. The next skill tree we went was Domination. You can try these out. The sorcery has some cool ones, but I really don't think it's that good. I haven't really checked out these two, but I just went straight into what I knew was going to be really good. Ravenous Hunter, heal for percentage of the damage dealt by your abilities. So your Steel Tempest, your dash is going to heal you, probably. I actually don't know if dash will heal you or not. I think it does, but your Steel Tempest is going to heal you. This is basically like having a miniature. Well, actually, it is just like having at full stacks. At full stacks, it's just like having a what's it called? Death Stance. Death Stance. So let me read it off to you. Heal for percentage of the damage dealt by your abilities. Healing is 2.5% flat, plus 2.5% per bounty hunter stack. Earn a bounty hunter stack the first time you get a takedown on an enemy champion. So this can happen up to 5 times. 2.5 times 5. You're gonna have, what is it? You have 15%. So it'll be really, actually it won't be 15%, but like 12.5 or something like that. But plus the 2.5%, you'll have about 15%. So it's like having a miniature Death Dance without the retarded true damage thing where you take percentage less damage, you take true damage though, which is actually not retarded. It's actually really good, but that's basically what that is. It's like a Death Dance passive. It's a Elixir of Wrath passive. Pretty good, except it works on everything. The other ones you can take here are not really that good in my opinion. You take Cheap Shot. I mean, the true damage is way too low to make it useful. Taste of Blood, like I said, then again, I don't think it's that useful because it scales, like the early scaling on it is super bad and the late game scaling on it is pretty bad in my opinion. Sudden Impact is pretty cool because you could really keep this up a lot on Yasuo. You may want to keep your eye out on this, but I think just the 10 lethality and the 8 magic penetration is just, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be that beneficial. Zombie Ward is a really cool skill. After killing a ward, a friendly zombie ward is raised in its place. Additionally, when your wards expire, they reanimate as a zombie. And the zombie wards don't go towards your ward limit. So basically, if you place a ward, but so the jungler comes through, scans it, pinks it, or whatever, pinks it, and then he kills it, you still have coverage, and if you're building up a ward in your inventory, you have another ward for the other side of the lane. Very good in my opinion. The Ghost Portal is also really cool. I don't think the Eyeball Collection is really good at all. I think it's awful. The Ghost Portal is also pretty interesting though. Ingenious Hunter, gain 10% active item CDR plus an additional 6% per bounty hunter stack. This is a really cool ability. This is a really cool rune. but I don't think it's that strong. Just because like the abilities on this just aren't. Well, the item builds you go into just aren't activatable. There's like one or two. The only way I can see this being really, really strong is if you went like Mercurial Scimitar or something like that. But we necessarily don't run that. So, yeah. Moving on to Relentless Hunter is movement speed. Why would you want movement speed when you have something like Ravenous Hunter with the healing? You know, I just don't think it's that good. And you move faster the more people you kill. And it's only out of combat, so it's not even in combat movement speed. I think this is also pretty bad. Something needs to be done with this. I don't think anyone will use it. Maybe, though. Only thing I can see it being useful on is like Udyr or something like that. The God Deer. Anywho, that is the runes. I'm running their spells really quickly. Personally, I like to take Flash and Exhaust. Obviously, Flash for obvious reasons. You always take Flash. Just do not stray away from Flash whatsoever. If you want reasoning behind it, you can flash over walls. You can flash in and out of situations to make plays. And you can get away from junglers if you need a no shit moment or I have fucked up. I need help. That's why you take Flash. Now the next one is up to you, really. But from my personal opinion, I would take Exhaust. Exhaust is just so strong because it reduces their movement speed by 30% and their damage dealt by 40% for 2.5 seconds. This is an equalizer. This is a CC because you also don't have much CC whatsoever. But it's more like an equalizer type summoner spell because once you have this up, even if the enemy is a bit ahead and if the enemy isn't a winning matchup, like a Z matchup after level 6, Exhaust really helps. It's like you make them do 40% less damage while you're doing all your damage. It's really it's kind of an acquired taste, but once you get used to it, like once you learn how to play with it, I feel like you're stronger Yasuo overall because no matter who's big on their enemy team, if you come out of your lane a little bit ahead, but the top laner came out super ahead, you have Exhaust, and Exhaust is useful all through the game. Like Ignite is kind of useful because of its grievous wounds, but Exhaust is way more useful than Ignite all through the game. Like it is the same thing from minute 1 in the game to minute 60 in the game, and it only gets better. Like it only gets more and more useful. Like a master you running up on you or whatever, and if your support doesn't take Exhaust, at least you have an Exhaust that way. If I didn't take Exhaust, I would probably either take Ignite or Teleport. Teleport for top lane. Ignite if you just want to be super, super aggressive, but you don't get that utility. Exhaust just gives you more utility and more survivability, honestly. Alright, we're going to head right into the game. I'm going to show you guys what I build, and that'll be it. Make ourselves max level. First skills, I like to level 1 for sure. Do Still Tempest. Beforehand, you'd used to do Sweeping Blade and go through the lane 4 times to stack up, because it used to stack up to 100% extra damage, but it only does 50% now. So go Still Tempest, and then go Sweeping Blade next. Go Wind Wall third. Max your Sweeping Blade so you cannot do it anymore. Then max Still Tempest. Take your ultimate whenever you can, and then Wind Wall last. See if I can just go ahead. Okay, cool. I was going to try that out. Okay, so starting out level 1, I always like to start a longsword, because longsword builds into your vampiric scepter, but that's not what you're going to be going into first. Whenever you get some gold and you come back a few times, you're going to build straight into Phantom Dancer, and then you're going to go into Phantom Dancer to a vampiric scepter, or I could call it a vape scepter, and then go to that to build Water Cutlass, then go straight into Blood of the Rune King, build into it as you need. After those items, you're going to grab an Infinity Edge to give you 100% crit. You can go Phantom Dancer, Infinity Edge, but if you go the Blood of the Rune King build second, if you go Phantom Dancer Blade instead of Phantom Dancer Infinity Edge, you're gonna have a lot more bruiser potential. Like you're gonna have a little bit of survival. You're gonna have that life steal to sustain a little bit more, and you get more attack speed. It's all pretty good. And then you just go Infinity Edge next to get the extra damage and your 100% crit. I like the Phantom Dancer Blood of the Rune King build a lot more than Phantom Dancer Infinity Edge, then Blade. After that, obviously pick up some boots whenever you want to. I like Ninja Tabby or Tenacity. Or not Tenacity, but the Merc Treads. Both are pretty strong. Oh, I guess I've used up all my gold. Anyways. Then after this, I like to either go... It just depends on what's happening in the game. So if they're stacking a metric shit ton of armor, if you get a full AD team comp, because that happens a lot of time when you play AD mid lanes. You have a full AD team comp, I would go a Lord Dominic's Regards, or if you really, really need it, because you probably took Exhaust, you want to go Mortal Reminder. Both are super strong. You get the Last Whisper passive, 35% armor pin, but you also, like, one gives you, obviously, Mortal Reminder gives you the Grievous Wounds on enemy champions when they're hit, and Lord Dominic does 20% more physical damage, depending on how much maximum health you have. More maximum health than you. Both are pretty strong. Also very situational. If you do not have to grab one of those, I would recommend grabbing a Bloodthirster for sure, for the more attack speed, or for the more lifesteal, as we were talking about the lethal tempo and stuff like that. The reason we're taking lethal tempo and all that junk. So either the Bloodthirster, or you're going to want to go Ravenous Hydra, or both. I mean, if you really want to go like maximum lifesteal, you can go both, and that'll work fine. If this, you'll have 44% lifesteal, not including whenever you have this stacked, your Ravenous Hunter plus Bloodline and your Elixir of Wrath, or whatever it's called. So you'll be able to solo Baron quite easily. As a matter of fact, if we can go ahead and figure out how to spawn this in, I'll show you. I don't think we can, actually. Okay, either way. We'll go ahead and put a dummy, though. Right back here. See what this build does. So, yeah. You see just the absolute insane... amount of damage we're pumping out. .11 attack speed. And now if we decided to go more attack speed items, we decided, let's say we went, instead of going Ravenous Hydra for our last item, we went Gwynsu's Rageblade. We'd have 2.6 attack speed. We have 1500 DPS like that. That's also on the target dummy, of course. So we spawn. Can we spawn Baron Nashor? Why can we not spawn Baron Nashor? Well, we'll just do this. Spawn Elder. And then teleport. I'll give you my finalized build. I just want to show off the stats if you went Rageblade. You can see how absolutely insane this is. Well, I guess lethal tempo does not work on that. Okay, however, my finalized build looks like this. It looks exactly the same as what you're seeing on the screen right now, except for a couple differences. You're going to be running, with my build, I'm going to get you to run Frozen Mallet, just because of the fact, where's my Frozen Mallet at? There it is. With the amount of attack speed that you've got right now, lifesteal and everything that you would have with this build up to this point, like, you'd be absolutely insane. Your damage would be through the roof. Your survivability would be through the roof. Well, your survivability wouldn't be through the roof, and that'd be the only problem with this build. If you didn't go Frozen Mallet and you went Hydra, or you went Rage Blade, you would do even more damage, and that would be perfectly fine, but you would die. Not necessarily quickly. It just depends on how good you are with Yasuo, and obviously the circumstances surrounding your death. But if you go Frozen Mallets, it's going to do a couple things for you. It's going to give you a little bit more AD for your crits and everything, because this is not a very AD heavy build. I mean, it has a little bit in it, of course, but it's not full AD. It's going to give you a tad bit more AD. It's going to give you 700 health, so you're going to have a lot more HP pool to play with, or a health pool, or whatever, to play around with. So you don't instantly fall over dead to like a freaking Syndra ultimate or something, or whatever the case may be. And it's going to give you the passive, which is called the Icy passive, right? Yeah, basic attack, slow the target's movement speed for 1.5 seconds on hit. This is a 40% slow for us, ranged 30%. Now the 40% slow, what that's going to allow us to do is, anyone we get on, they're not going to be able to leave. They're 100% going to be stuck. Unless they flash or use a disengage, whatever that may be, they're not getting away. They can't just escape, unless they like stun you and then run away for like, let's say Morg Binding gets you and they just run away. Because the slow will be reapplied. Literally, it will have 100% uptime. There's no way to get away from it. This has no cooldown, and being as how we have like a 2.6 attack speed, it'd be impossible to get away from. Anyways, the other things I want to show you guys is some wall jumps with Yasuo. You can do very, very small wall jumps. His E doesn't allow you to go over walls, but you can dash through them if you know the angles to go at. With that being said, so like right through here, you can go over this wall. Whoa, my bad. Let me try to line this one wolf right here up. Right here, you should be able to just go. I'm not angled right for this, but so I can dash to that wall. I'll show you here on the raptors or the chickens. You can go through this wall like that. You can also go over red buff wall right here, I'm pretty sure. You may not be able to. These are some really old wall jumps. This is like, no, you can't. You can't do this one anymore. You used to be able to. Oh, you can. Okay. There's a pretty unique thing you can do. And I'll teleport over here to show you about it. But essentially, and if you didn't know, which I'll show you this about Yasuo too, it's very important. It's not very, very important, but it comes in handy sometimes. And if you knew it, then you'd be like, holy shit. So if your wind wall is on a cooldown, you can do this. You can use this and get over the wall. So you don't have to have a ward. All you have to have is wind wall on, not on cooldown. So I'll show you that again. But see, now wind wall gives you vision. So I can just do this and then jump over the wall. Very, very cool. So yeah, that's just a few wall jumps. Now, there are some things like right here. I'm pretty sure you can go to the wall right here as well. Yeah, so there's just little spots like those spots. There's only a couple more. I can't really remember them, but they're super small. These aren't that useful every game, but if you learn them, sorry for the dog. If you learn them, they can become very, very cool to use, and people will be like, "Holy shit, that dude just got me." They'll be like, "Yep, hey, I've been got," or whatever, you know. And they won't be expecting them because a lot of people don't think Yasuo can go over walls, but he can. It's just like in very, very certain areas, like Riven. Riven can go over more walls than Yasuo, but you know, it is what it is. You can also go over walls like that too. You can dash through them. Yasuo has a really big grace. What's it called? He has a grace period or whatever. I don't know what to call it. but you can see how long his sweeping blade here is. If it's in that radius, you can basically do it dashing in or out. So if, let's just say, I decided to dash here, I can dash through, because that's where the grace line or whatever is. It's called grace period or something like that. But it allows you to go through the wall. I'm going to go over here and try blue buff one more time before I end this video. And I'm going to see if we can dash through the wall here. I know you can dash through it from here to here. So we're going to do that one time for you. Oh, I guess we're not. Sorry for the dog, guys. He's a fucking idiot. Okay, we'll try this one more time. I swear you could do this. I guess not. It must be just where you can get the blue buff next to the wall right here and then go through it. Because I know you can definitely do that. Well, but they're clunky. Don't get me wrong, they're very, very clunky. They won't work every time. And it's just a habit of getting them down to see what you can do with them. And getting very used to using them. Like, you have to practice them a lot. I don't use them all the time because they're really clunky. It's very, very clunky. And then sometimes you're like, well, that should have worked, and it's worked every other time, but it doesn't work that one time you actually need it, and it really pisses you off. Here's another one that I didn't show you. It's like, damn, I know what's gonna fucking happen. I'll show you the opposite way. This is another one where you can use wind wall and get over. This dog, dude, it's so awful. But you can dash through it here as well. Remember that thing I was showing you with wind wall, where you can throw the wall up into, where you can throw wind wall into this wall. It'll give you vision even if you don't have a ward there. Just like I showed you over here with the Krugs, it will allow you to have vision to dash over. So if you're getting chased or something like that, that's a very good one. I use this one here the most. This one and the one with Krugs is the two that I use the most. The one there with chickens and with blue buff, very, very rarely. I'll do it one more time for you. Just like in this kind of like this little thin spot right here, and you go right through it. So we're gonna see if we can go through the other side. I know for a fact you can. You're gonna be standing close enough to it. You have to work with it, so you can go over it like that. It's just kind of hard to deal with and work with, but once you get it down, it's a pretty cool little Yasuo tricks. But I guess it's gonna be it for me, guys. I'll be signing off here. That's been my Yasuo build and a few tricks on him, some tips. Any questions or comments, leave them in the description down below. Actually, not the description, but the comment section down below. And I'm probably going to do some more League videos. And I'll be live streaming some too. Don't know exactly what I'll be 100% doing as far as League videos. But I'll be doing some... Once I feel comfortable on a champion, like I do Yasuo, I'll do probably a build guide and something like this on them. And until next time, guys, stay tuned for more stuff. Don't know if it's going to be League related. Definitely going to be gaming related. It may be League related. It'll probably be mostly League related for the start. Anyways, guys, take care. Take it easy. See you in the next one.